I have got a question I've barely dared to ask coming up for you. It's what can you do if you can't satisfy your partner in the bedroom? Now, as you can see, I'm already getting nervous about talking about this, which is why I'm absolutely ecstatic to have my very, very good friend, Tantra practitioner, master of all things sex coaching, the lovely Sarah Rose with me. Thanks for joining me, Sarah.
Hey, Hayley. So good to be here with you again. It's been a while. I've missed you.
Oh yeah, I missed you too. But when you came to me talking to me about this topic, I was like, okay, I know lots of men out there are going to want to hear about this, but it feels difficult to even go there and talk about it because I could see that it's such a point of pain for not just the man, but also the woman in a relationship where the sex aspect isn't connecting.
Yeah, I mean, sex is such a huge part of our humanity. And if it's not thriving in a relationship, it's extremely painful for both people. And yet, it's this aspect of our lives that we're really disconnected from. And it's like been shut down and pushed into the shadows. And, we're not allowed to talk about it in healthy, mature ways. It's either has to be kind of joked around or masked.
Mm.
And so it causes tremendous pain. You're absolutely right.
So, if a man is in this situation right now, what kind of impact would it have on his relationship?
So if you're in a relationship and, for instance, say you're having sex with your partner and you have an orgasm, you ejaculate every time you have sex, but she isn't, like that is really it's eroding the trust in the relationship, and it takes this toll over time where a lot of times women start to despise the man that they're with. She feels like he doesn't care about her pleasure, that even if you do care about her pleasure, I mean, clearly guys that are here listening to this are guys that want to know more. They do care. But from her perspective, her body is feeling rejected, let down over
Mm.
and over again. And then that carries over into the rest of the relationship where she's just like starts to have a lot of disrespect and, even just animosity and disdain for the person that she's with.
And I always find actually from coaching women as well that often women will just all they'll do is internalize that, just think I'm not attractive enough, or he doesn't like me, or because she isn't getting that source of, I guess, attention and connection for him, will start to doubt herself, or maybe even look around for other ways to get that side of herself fulfilled. So we don't want this to happen. I know that you're the woman with the solutions and the plan, and but I sense this isn't just like a one-off quick fix solution here. And I think you were talking to me earlier that why the work really needs to start there is actually about rebuilding a man's inner kind of core confidence. So can you explain a bit of the hero's journey, or the journey a man would need to go on to get to the place where he's starting to feel really in control of his sexuality again?
Yeah, when we look at true core confidence, I look at it from a biological perspective where we have two basic needs and functions on as humans from the purely biological level. So procreation and survival, and that's really all the primal brain cares about. That's the only reason we're here on an evolutionary level. And so if these two core aspects of you are not feeling complete, met, whole, then that impacts the entire rest of your life. You look at this from the tantric tradition of the chakra system. You got the root chakra, which is like very much about survival and instinct, just raw primal earthy power. And then the second chakra is the area of sexuality, and those are the two foundations, the base for everything else as you go up. And then if you look at it from Maslow's hierarchy of need, that perspective, again, it's first and foremost getting your base needs met, and then you move up the ladder and you get to like really having your sexual needs met. And so you've got to have these two aspects of your life really under control, handled, in order for you to feel any level of satisfaction in the rest of your life. You can think of men that maybe they make plenty of money, they've got flashy cars, even they've got sexy women on their arm. But if they have this nagging doubt of, am I actually
Mm.
satisfying her in bed? It makes everything else just feel like it doesn't even really matter. And a lot of times these guys will just work even harder to have more external show of
Mhm.
everything that they've accomplished to cover up for these internal insecurities that they have.
Wow. I think that's a bit of a truth bomb there from Sarah. So, I mean, obviously, building that inner confidence, it's a journey because confidence, I mean, I guess this goes back to the dating thing, right? Everyone says, just be confident. And then people are like, well, how? You know, how do I access that state of confidence? Because confidence is not a light switch. To me, confidence is something that's very much built brick by brick. It's about taking regular practice at doing things that help to make you feel more confident. It's also about competence. I think that feeling like if I'm in this situation, whether that's in the bedroom with a woman or driving a car or whatever it might be, it's that feeling like I've been here before, I know how this works, I feel good about this, I know where I'm doing, and that starts to build that deep sense of security and trust. So for the guy who's so far away from that now, who's actually feels a little bit insecure maybe in this area, feels uncertain of themselves, and maybe this isn't just about physically in the bedroom with women. This could also come through, I guess, from again going back to the dating thing and not feeling comfortable to approach a woman, really holding back on initiating relationships, not being proactive because it's, again, as you said, that deep baseline confidence is missing. So what are some action steps or what practices do you like to focus on which help teach men to build that inner confidence?
Yeah, so really, when we come down to the root, the core of our insecurities, the core of even our traumas that create these insecurities, most of the time we're looking at feeling a lack of a sense of safety, sense of love, or sense of belonging. And so I really work with clients in these three areas to develop strong self love, strong safety within, and the sense of belonging within. So if you're talking about a man that he feels apprehensive of going out on a date because he's afraid that he may be rejected, or he's afraid of getting on a dating site because he might be rejected, or
Mm.
approaching a woman asking for her number, that comes down to the sense of belonging. I may not belong here. And that's a primal need that gets triggered. And so I have different practices I lead guys through to help them feel that. So it's totally met within themselves. So that way they're able to know that no matter what happens in the external world, they're still okay internally. And that internal confidence is what we're wanting to develop and really get so stable, so firm inside, because that way you can go out into the world, you can take risks, and it's okay because whatever happens externally isn't going to impact you internally.
That makes so much sense to me because actually something I'm a huge fan of teaching about is just empowering guys to take some more risks. Because when we play it too safe because we're too worried about how's she going to react, is this going to lose her approval or interest, whether it's a text message or something you say to her or something you physically do together, it will lack conviction, it will be too vanilla, and it won't connect in the way that you want it to. And actually, I find that a lot of the time, guys have within them totally the right idea of what to do, but they just dismiss that idea. They don't run with their instinct because they have that, they don't fully trust it and trust themselves in that area yet. So I think this is really valuable. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of your work as well, but just to be devil's advocate, I'm going to ask you a question that I've been asked many, many times over my career, which is, as a woman, how in the world are you placed to teach a man, particularly in the area of masculinity and sexuality?
Well, when we're talking about heterosexual men or even bisexual men that are interested in women, then I think it makes perfect sense to learn from a woman, because you're learning from a woman what women really want and really desire. And if you look at the current world that we're in, that has largely been led by men, where the teachings have come from men, it's gotten us to a place of extreme disconnect between the sexes. And so having a women's perspective is going to really help you understand the psychology of a woman, the way her body works, what she's really desiring from you. So I am a woman, I coach women myself as well. I'm also bisexual, so I have sex with women, and I've got a really strong and unique opinion and perspective on what women really, really want to feel in the bedroom and from men.
Mhm. I love that, because actually, when you were talking about the male lens, or I guess the male gaze of advice, an area that I really feel that it can sometimes go wrong is around confidence and leadership. So I think sometimes reading the headline on the blog or on the YouTube video where it's speaking to about how to be confident with women, guys can kind of get that idea and it just goes way too far. And they get into this mindset of thinking, if I'm not constantly leading, if I'm not showing this 100% persona of utter self-confidence, if I'm not borderline a little bit arrogant here, she's going to lose attraction. And it's one of these things where the core idea of having confidence is good, but somehow it's been twisted in such a way that actually, if guys follow that advice, they will not get the results that they want. Because you know what, and I've been on dates like this myself, if a guy is really I guess forceful in trying to lead, isn't seeking to see if I'm complicit in that, isn't seeking opinion, and is just trying to put on this show, nothing to me sticks out more of like, this guy lacks self-esteem because he's needing so much to have that kind of feeling of like trying to hold on to that power and that authority too tight. So I guess I'd be really interested to hear as well, and I think a lot of the guys listening too, what do you see as a really good examples of leadership for men? You know, what kind of things can they do, and or what perspective can they take on leadership, which means they don't end up in like arrogant guy who actually seems insecure, you know, the guy who drives really fast down the road, like, beeping his car horn, and he's in a flashy car and all the women in the block roll their eyes. That guy, how does he not be that guy and pull it back to a more holistic, grounded version of core confidence and masculinity?
Yeah, I mean, I follow these guys that you're talking about, kind of these masculinity coaches. I follow them on Instagram just so I can see what they're up to. And I do, I roll my eyes and I have to laugh. And I'm like, you really think this is what women are wanting? Like, no, it's not. And what women want, they want connection. They want to be with a real man that's just like, when I say a real man, I'm talking about just like another human, right? Like, we're humans here for connection.
Mm-hmm.
Women, while yes, like there are certain aspects of masculinity that women are attracted to, such as the protector, the warrior, like some of these basic things that do connect to our primal instinct, again, our biology, that come from just, hundreds of thousands of years of relating to each other. We also are like just such on a basic human level, like we are just here for connection and intimacy. And when you break down intimacy, what is it? Into me, you see, right? Like really seeing the other person. And so when I work with men, I help them on that level of being able to first see themselves so clearly, get to know themselves on a deep and intimate level. So that way you're comfortable being that when you're with a woman, and she's comfortable being that with you, because that connection is what is going to have a woman continually come back for more and more and more. Maybe the guy that has the expensive car or, the penthouse, like he could probably fuck her, but she's going to get tired of him and she's going to get bored. She's going to end up, not liking this guy if that's all there is, if it's just that external confidence. If you are able to like really just meet her on such deep levels of intimacy, she's going to want you over and over and over again. These are the guys that I keep going back to for sex. Like when I connect with them on that level, I'm like, I want more of that. Like I want to just make love to you for hours, right? Rather than, just, oh, I've got a big dick or whatever. Like fine, like plenty of guys have a big dick, and I've had plenty of guys that don't, and they were better lovers. So I'd rather be with that guy, So it's just, but it really is about getting to know yourself and getting through your own insecurities so you can be there and really hold space for her in a strong and powerful way.
Oh my God, I just love everything you're saying. I'm like nodding and enthusing, and I'm almost just going to reveal personal information, but I'm like, I'm far too prudish for that. I think there's just so much knowledge that you can impart that I can't, because I just don't talk about the sex side of things. I'm not in that space. I haven't done the coaching and the training that you have. And I don't come at these issues from that perspective and that angle. And I think it's so valuable, because I think if you get this piece of the puzzle in place, that's what helps. It isn't having a great text message to send. It's about getting that mindset and the core confidence together. And I think a man's connection to his sexuality is just fundamental to that. So I'm really excited, because I know we've worked together before, but I know that you're putting together a new program called Men of Victory and Power. And I know you talked to me about that it's a hero's journey. I've listened to the training modules. I've blushed during some of them. I was pretty stimulated during other ones. But can you explain to guys what is this amazing new program that you're releasing?
Yeah, I'm so excited about this program, Men of Victory and Power. And it really is for modern men that just feel lost right now. They don't know how to relate to women in this day and age. We've got so many new dynamics happening, shifting constantly when it comes to, our way of relating socially and religiously, and also like through just government practices, all these different ways of coming together, especially post Me Too. A lot of guys have felt like, okay, I don't really know what to do. I feel like anything I do might be the wrong thing. I should just do nothing so I don't get myself into trouble. And like that type of mentality has really caused even more suffering when it comes to relating between men and women. Clearly, there's a lot of progress that has also been made because of these things that I've been supportive of. Like, women should not feel threatened, and they should not feel that they're at risk when they're with men. And so, there are definitely men in society that have needed to kind of be bitch slapped. And but for the rest of the guys out there that aren't the predators, that aren't trying to be harmful to women, they just don't know what to do. And so this program is really about helping you understand and tap into your primal sexuality, that like part of you that's so fucking attractive that women can feel, and they're like, yes, I want that. And integrating it with your consciousness, so you are totally on all levels of your being in alignment, holistic, integrated, feeling like you've got the wisdom from up here, but you've also from your root chakra, the base of you, like that primal animalistic part of you, like that can drive a woman crazy with sexual attraction for you. But if you're not like also integrating it with your heart and your wisdom, then you're going to miss out, and you're not going to be just the type of man that's like a pillar of strength. And so it's getting all of this working together, so that way when you meet the woman that you're like, yes, like I want to be with her so badly, she can feel that within you, that you've got like all these parts of you just taken care of. And she's like, yeah, I want to be with this man. He's amazing.
I mean, I'm sitting here like, yes, I'm into it. But I also know that change takes time. And I think this is a long program, right? It's something that guys are going to be working through over quite a period of time to really get this all in place.
Yeah, it is. It's a 6-month program, and every week or every month you get two different modules. So every other week you get a new module for 6 weeks that they're pre-recorded. You do it in the privacy of your own home. There's a video guide and an audio guide that you do the practices along with. So that way, if you have questions, you can actually put questions in as well, and one of my team members will respond and answer any questions that you have. So you are able to be supported through the process. And it does, like, this type of work, it's not a quick fix. It's not just something where you're like, oh, I'm just going to watch this 20-minute video and it's all taken care of. Like, you've got to put in the work. You've got to do
Yeah.
some effort here to really change the patterns and the conditioning, like the deep rooted conditioning that is there in the primal brain, in your subconscious mind. And that's what's controlling you. And everything that we do in this program is designed to bring stuff up from the subconscious so that you're aware of it. You look at it, you face it, you deal with it, and you move on. So you're actually creating lasting transformation for your life.
I'm all about that. I totally agree on lots of my programs as well. As rather than just doing like a 2-weekend boot camp for dating, I'm like, no, it's a 10-week course on this stuff, because it's just that is realistic as an amount of time to actually create the level of change that people want. So I'm a huge fan of that. I'm a huge fan of your work. I'm also so proud and happy to have someone who can talk about this area and go and delve in a way that I can't. So if you're interested, I'm going to put a link to Sarah's course, the Men of Victory and Power program, right beneath this video. I'd highly recommend you check it out. Loads of my guys have worked with Sarah before and they come back with rave reviews about how she's transformed their life. So I'm just happy to give you the opportunity to join them. And thank you again so much, Sarah. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot actually during this interview, and it's always a pleasure to bring your perspective to the guys out there.
Well, thanks for having me. I love the guys that work with you. Been privileged to work with so many of them myself, and always amazing, amazing men. So thank you, Hayley.
My pleasure. Okay, I'll leave you to your lovely like penthouse in New York over there, Sarah, and I'll see you again soon.